Peace, peace, guys. Welcome back to Truth, Trust, and Trajectory with your girl, Shakim B. Today, we're going to be talking about something that I know many of you, myself included, struggle with, and that is being overwhelmed. The feeling when you guys are having like a million things on your to do list, but you have no idea where to start. Or maybe you're just staring at a blank page trying to launch a new project, but you're paralyzed by self doubt or fear or failure. Does that sound familiar? Well, you're not alone. Being overwhelmed is something I've dealt with for a long time, and it's exactly why I created my From Overwhelm to Action workbook. Today, I'm going to be sharing some of my favorite tips and strategies to help you guys break through that mental clutter and start taking action. Before I start, I just want you guys to hit the subscribe button and make sure you click on the thumbs up with the notification bell so you guys never miss an episode. And without further ado, we're going to jump right in. Hey guys, welcome back. I want to talk about firstly what causes us to be overwhelmed. Before we talk about how to overcome being overwhelmed, we first have to get to what causes it in the first place. So, for most people, overwhelm comes from one or more of these three things. So, the first one would be having too many options. So, when you have too many choices, it's hard to know where to start. Fear of failure or imposter syndrome. So, that leads to the pressure to get it perfect. Lack of clarity. So if you don't have a clear plan, it's easy to feel stuck. So just thinking on with my podcast and starting my coaching business, one of the things that really stopped me for a long time was just an overwhelming amount of ideas and plans and just not really knowing where to start. And so that ended up prolonging me for a long time. I felt like I needed all of the certifications, I needed all of the credentials. And because I was moving in that frequency, I found that I was kind of like delayed in my process. So I want to ask you guys at home, does any of this resonate with you? If so, let me know in the comments. All right, so now I want to talk to you guys about how to break through being overwhelmed. So now this is the good stuff. How to actually overcome overwhelm and start taking actions. Here are my three favorite strategies. Number one is identifying the source of overwhelming. So take a moment to ask yourself, what's really causing this feeling? Is it lack of time, too many tasks, fear of failure? Which one is it, guys? Once you know the root cause, it's easy to address it. So I do want to add this one part, which is when you are trying to shuffle or sort through what's causing you to feel overwhelmed, this requires a certain level of self-awareness. And with self-awareness, you have to be able to pay attention to your patterns and also observe your body just to see what emotions are coming up for you. So after you're able to do that, you want to then break it down into manageable steps. So big goals can feel intimidating, but when you break them into smaller, actionable steps, they become much more doable. For example, instead of launch my business, start with research business names or create a logo. Create a clear action plan after that. Once you've broken things down, create a timeline or a schedule to keep yourself on track. I love using the Eisenhower matrix to prioritize tasks. It's an absolute game changer, guys. If you want more tips like this, you can find it in my From Overwhelm to Action workbook. So I created this, and it's going to give you steps to walk through in detail with exercises, and I also have a bonus checklist for you guys as well, and that's going to help you to stay organized. I'll share more about it at the end of this episode. All right, so I'm just going to show you guys the first two, just so you know kind of what it entails. So the first one is that self-awareness that I was talking about, and being able to kind of zoom into what what your triggers are. What are your triggers? What is your main premises or focus of being overwhelmed? And then it gets into breaking it down into manageable steps. So in this part of the workbook, I give you different prompts to where you can actually break down your goals or whatever it is, your tasks. You can break them down, and it even gives you a day by day setup. I also give you prompts to create a clear action plan, and then it's followed by a reflection and adjust. So basically, you want to reflect back on the way that you've broken down these goals or tasks, and then you tweak them, because often I found that when I set out a clear plan, I might start moving forward with it only to find out later on that it needs to be modified some. And then I have some bonus resources as well for you guys. It is included in the book. It's interactive. So you'd be able to do it online or you can actually print it out. And for anyone that's more of a hands-on person, you can actually order a physical hard copy as well. So I want to talk about overcoming mental blocks. One thing that goes hand in hand with being overwhelmed is mental blocks. So, those thoughts that are like, I'm not good enough, or what if I fail? I consider those that to be imposter syndrome. So, I'm going to talk to you guys about how to tackle them. The first step that you want to do is acknowledge the thought. Instead of pushing it away, I want you to look to yourself and say, okay, I'm feeling stuck, and I'm feeling self doubt right now. And then from there, you want to be able to reframe it. So you're going to want to turn that negative thought into something empowering. For example, what if I fail becomes what if I succeed? And then you want to take it one step even further. So, action is the best way to quiet those doubts. Even if it's just writing out one sentence or making a phone call, it's still progress. And I actually have a client that I'm working with currently at this time, and she's a perfect example of that reframing, right? She's got so many different limiting beliefs and just things that she's going through in life, and it's kind of keeping her in a very stuck and stagnant place. So what I've been working with her on is reframing that mindset and basically not ignoring the negative feelings, but just, purging those out and then also doing a pivot, standing pivot. So the standing pivot looks like, okay, these are the things that I don't like. This is what's going on. It's terrible, 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 right? You take that, put that to the side, and now you're going to want to start talking about all of the things that you want and the things that could possibly go good because it opens the mind to different ideals. It opens the mind to creativity. So from there, you can start actually being more productive as opposed to being counterproductive. So in my workbook, I include a mindset shift exercise to help you reframe those limiting beliefs. It's one of my favorite tools for building confidence and taking action. And that is something that I actually experimented with myself for some time before I came to the idea of creating a workbook because I want to be able to share with you guys some of the things that helped me. All right, guys. So before we wrap it up, I want to tell you something that's helped so many people go from feeling stuck to taking actions, which is in my From Overwhelm to Action workbook. This workbook is your step by step guide. It identifies what's really causing you to feel overwhelmed. It helps in breaking big goals into manageable steps, also creating a clear plan that works for you, and overcoming self doubt and procrastination. It's also packed with actionable exercises. It comes with a bonus principle checklist and motivational tips to keep you on track. And right now, it's available, guys. So you can find it on my website, Truth, Trust, and Trajectory. I am having a sale price. Usually it's $47.99, but for the rest of this month, I'm charging only $27 for it. If you guys are interested, go ahead and check out truthtrustandtrajectory.com. So, if you're ready to stop feeling overwhelmed and start making progress, head on over to my website and please believe it is an absolute game changer. So, I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in today. If you found this episode helpful, I would absolutely love it if you could leave me a review or share it with a friend who's feeling overwhelmed. And also, don't forget to grab your copy from Overwhelmed to Action workbook. It is at truthtrustandtrajectory.com. And next week, I have a special episode for you guys. So make sure you hit the notification bell. Make sure you guys subscribe as well as hitting that thumbs up button so that I can bring you more beautiful information. And until next time, remember, you don't have to have it all figured out at once. All you have to do is take one step at a time. You've got this. Okay, bye.